Assalamu alaikum dear students. Today we are going to discuss reproduction in organism. The topic which we are included in this chapter is lifespan, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Okay, we are going to discuss one by one at a time. Let's discuss a basic introduction of this chapter. Around us we see different organisms. Over here different organism means we see around us a diversified variety of different organisms which not only vary in their shape, size and complexity but they also have a different lifespan. So in this we include three major points: that they are diversified according to their size, their complexity and their lifespan. Every organism is born and then after a certain period of time it came to death. This is the lifespan of an organism. Lifespan means the period from the birth to the natural death of an organism represents its lifespan. It means that when a baby is born, he lives a certain period of life, and then after a certain period of time, it may be a days, year, or even 1,000 years. Then after every single organism face the death, which is an ultimate goal of the life. This is the lifespan. Over here we note down a point that different organisms have a different lifespan, and the lifespan does not depend on the size of an organism. There are certain organisms or certain plants which have the same size but they have a different lifespan. For example, if we look around in this if we look around in this diagram, we see a picture of a peepal tree and a mango tree. They both have the same size but they have a different lifespan. And we see birds like crow and parrot. They look like the same organism because they both are birds, but they have a different lifespan. So sometime a question came in your mind that why the lifespan is so much variable. So I would like to explain you this with a simple concept that over here I have taken a bottle. Okay, and now this bottle is full of energy. In our whole life span of a life, every situation and every condition is not favorable. So we can categorize it into two categories that we include that sometimes the conditions are unfavorable and sometimes the conditions are favorable. So if the condition is unfavorable, then we have a short lifespan and a large number of progeny. Over here I would like to include an example like an insect. You can see that every insect have a very short lifespan and they produce a large number of progenies. Similarly, when the condition is favorable, then there is an increase in lifespan and the less number of progeny is present. Like for example in human or in certain cats, dog, parrots, they won't produce a large numbers of an offspring. The next question that came in the mind of a person that why the single cell organism are said to be an immortal. You may be sometime thinking why the single cell organism is immortal and why the multicellular organism are not immortal or why they are mortal. So over here there are two guys who are having conversation like you and I do. The first person says that why the single cell organism are said to be immortal. So this guy seems to be very much cool guy. So he just answered the question that no organism is immortal. Every organism have its lifespan except a single cell organism. Why is it so? Let's categorize it into two points so that we can better understand this concept. The organism can be categorized into two parts. It's the multicellular and the unicellular organism. The multicellular organism, they have an average lifespan. Means it may be of couple of days or it may be a certain period of time like years, like 50, 60 years, 40 years and so forth. They have an average lifespan, and even in favorable condition is present, death will occur. Sometimes you see the small girl or boy, they died in a very young age, and sometimes you see that there are many people, they have a lifespan about 100 or 90 years. Okay, let's include another point that some organisms are said to be unicellular. Why it is so? Under the favorable condition, they keep on dividing. And when the condition is not favorable, sometimes you see that some microorganisms produce spores or they form a protective layer around them to protect themselves from heat or like stress condition. And when the conditions are favorable, the outer covering bursts and the small particles are liberated, which further grows in and develop into a fully formed organism. So in this unicellular organism, they keep on dividing, but in multicellular organism, ultimately the death will occur. Over here, I have included a list of few organisms along with their lifespan. But before we discuss all this, let's take a look over here that every organism, they have a certain lifespan on Earth. Why they have a certain lifespan? To maintain species on Earth. Because if the organism won't die, you can imagine if the dinosaurs were still living over here and we are also living here along with the arthropod and fishes and all the microorganisms, don't you feel the earth will be full of animals or plant species? So to maintain all this, death is also an essential part of our life. Then ultimately the reproduction will occur to maintain the continuity of life. So what is the ultimate continuity of the life is? So in our life, since the time of birth until the death, growth occurs. And after the growth, the ultimate aim of the life is death. The organism, along with the lifespan, I have listed few. Like for the male fly, its lifespan is just only a 1 day. The man, it may be 65. It may be more than 100. And the elephant, they have a lifespan of 65 years, parrot 140 years, tortoise 200 years, cats 35 to 40, dogs 20 to 30 years, monkey 26 years, like the wheat 5 months, banyan tree 300 to 500 years, and the sequoia, whatever you want to call, it is 3000 to 4000 years. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching.